Hello, friends, donors, staff of Christian Help in Morgantown. I'm Sister Janet Peterworth, and I'm here with Sister Brendan, and we bring you greetings from Louisville. We wish we could have come, but it was sort of a far trip for us, and so we are opting to speak with you this way. I'm going to start and talk a little bit about Christian Help as I knew it in 1975, which I believe is the foundation date. The summer of 1975, I was in Morgantown with a group of other sisters, and under the direction of Sister Tekla Scheel, who is the original foundress of Christian Help Morgantown, we did a census in the surrounding areas of Mon County. And part of that was to do a census for the parish, St. Teresa's then, and part of it was to see what was out there for Christian Help's future. I stayed on then in Morgantown as pastoral associate under Father Bandiera, and there got involved with Christian Help because Sister Tekla needed somebody to drive her around and to take furniture and food and various kinds of things to people. I had a pickup truck, and it came in real handy with Christian Help things. One of my memories of the first Thanksgiving, that would have been Thanksgiving of 1975, was Dr. Kramer and Mrs. Kramer. Dr. Kramer was involved with WVU, and we took Thanksgiving baskets to various people that year, and those were the Thanksgiving baskets from Christian Help. I moved on over to Westover in 1976, and was not as involved with Christian Help there. However, I was always aware of it, always aware of the little store on Beechhurst, and always aware, I guess, of the need in Mon County and in the surrounding areas. And so in a few years, when Sister Brendan was looking for a ministry, I really did encourage her to think about taking over Christian Help because Sister Tekla had fallen and hurt herself and could not do the work.
Good afternoon, friends. I had hoped, like Janet, to be able to be there personally and thank you and greet you and wish you congratulations for the long time that Christian Help has been there. But my good sense said that a 500-mile road trip with my body isn't such a good idea. Anyway, I'm going to share a few words with you personally anyway. I loved my years in Morgantown, and I love Christian Help. I'm grateful for Sister Tekla for starting the Christian Help of Morgantown. And I'm grateful to her for continuing it for so long when she could have retired and taken it easy. When I walked into that little room at 38 Beechhurst Avenue in 1982, I found nothing except a chair and a phone and an empty desk. I was panicked. There was no note, no phone numbers, no names, no anything. I was a teacher, and I was used to a teacher's manual, and I would have wanted to ask for a manual for running an agency, but there was none. Anyway, after I calmed my panic a little bit, I went looking for Judy Wilhelm, who then was the president or the director of Catholic Community Services, because I thought I might be able to get some help there. Well, she took me under her wing, took me down to Hotel Morgan, down to the lunchroom down below, and she spent about an hour jotting down on a paper napkin names, phone numbers, suggestions, stores, doctors, dentists, everything, anything she could think of. And at the end, she handed it to me and she said, "I hope this will get you a start." Well, it did. I kept that paper napkin for a long time till it wore out. Anyway, that day that was kind of had a bad start with that getting there and being so shocked, was the beginning of many days that taught me about God's blessing and providence. I learned that day that I could, if somebody walked in and said, "Where can I find coal for my stove?" I can say, "Go to the tipple at Dipple and Dipple and tell them Christian Help sent you." And I did that many, many times. It was a bad day that turned into a good day, and it was one of many like that. One of the days like that, when our building was sold, I feel that it was shortly after Christmas, because I remember the first Christmas I had scattered toys all around an open room, an open office. I think somebody had learned about the change of the ownership and they were getting out in a hurry. But anyway, I scattered toys around with names of people that one of the sisters that I lived with at that time remembered that Sister Tekla knew that family and knew the names, and she gave me the names. So I think this was after Christmas. But in any case, I learned that the building had been sold. Christian Help is homeless. Another panic. I did not know where to go. So of course I turned to the sisters in the convent. They took me in. I already lived there, but they took the office of Christian Help in, and the couch and the phone of the convent became Christian Help's office for a time. After a while, the sisters said, "You answer the phone, it's going to be for Christian Help anyway." So it was the start of a new section of Christian Help. Before very long, Father DeBacco came along, bless his heart, and he offered a room at the Loving Furniture Building, which had recently been donated, and I'm sorry, but I can't remember the name of the family that donated it, but I'm forever grateful to them. Anyway, I got a room there, a larger room by far than I had had at the earlier Beechhurst residence. We cleared out the big room that they gave us. It had been a men's gym, and when I first saw it, it had a large boxing match area in a boxing ring or whatever you call it there. And so when we moved in, though, that was gone. We cleaned out the room. When we had to move out of Christian Help, we had given our clothes. We had had many bags and boxes of donated clothes about that time, and we had given those to the Catholic Worker House. They volunteered. They came and volunteered to take the clothes and the racks and keep them in their basement until such a time as we had a home. So when Father DeBacco and the owner of the building, who had donated the building, gave us a room, we went and got our clothing and settled down to do Christian Help. that worked well. We enjoyed that big room. We filled it up. We had more racks and lots of donated clothes and all kinds of donated things, and we were doing fine until we learned that the city was resurfacing Walnut Street, which went down from Spruce Street down to Beechhurst Avenue. So they were resurfacing the building, the street. And it so happened that we had a basement that was under the sidewalk. I've seen it in movies, but I had never known one before. But the sidewalk extends over the basement. And when they were resurfacing that road, they nicked something, and somebody came up and said, "Do you smell gas here?" And I said, "Well, sure." I really thought gas was not uncommon in a city area, smelling gas. But anyway, they checked the basement and decided that just about all of the pipes, the gas pipes, needed to be replaced. Another bad day. It was winter and it was cold weather. And I remember that it was bitterly cold, and we did not know where to go. We had no place to take all that clothing, so we just stayed, put on coats, put on gloves, and worked. I went over and answered phones, picked up messages for help, and took care of them. We pulled clothing in that were always donated at the door, and did things like that. The two agencies that occupied the third floor at the Loving Furniture Building donated had moved out, and we were there all by ourselves. The outcome of that, the outcome was that out of God's goodness and the diocese, the goodness of the diocese, the whole building, 3 floors, a basement, and a mezzanine became Christian Help, a world apart from the little room on Beechhurst Avenue that I had gone to at the beginning. So I learned a lot of things at Christian Help, but the biggest thing perhaps was that God's concern for the work that He cared for, and I believe He cares for Christian Help. That was the lesson, I guess, and the trust that goes with it, that when the bad day comes, the bad day will turn into a good day through God's providence. And that was what I learned. Anyway, I just want to say that God has been with this work every step of the way this far, and will continue to be with it the rest of the way. Good directors, board members, staff, volunteers, friends like you will be there to take care of turning the bad days into good days and making God's work go ahead. And I want to thank the opportunity to have just a little bit of a note with you. Thank you. God bless you. God bless your work here and whatever comes. Thank you.